Hey, my name is Mike McCarthy. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams Complete Realty in Hamilton, and really excited and happy and honored to talk about getting your first home and breaking it down into the 6 easy steps to home ownership. Okay, so let's get started. These are the steps to get you to your new home. They can be broken down in any number of steps. We're going to break them into 6 here. And to make it seem a little more manageable, especially to first-time home buyers, because it can seem like a crazy big process, and it is a big undertaking. But when you work with good realtors, that's part of our job, is to make it way more manageable and to keep it as fun and exciting for you as we possibly can. So step 1, hire your agent. Typically, there are 2 real estate agents involved in every transaction. One of the agents represents the seller and the other represents the buyer. Do your research when choosing your agent. Ask about their experience, knowledge of the market, and their negotiation skill. Find one that suits your needs and personality, and not just because they're your friend. It's okay to interview more than one before making your selection. If I've earned your trust and provided value so that you choose me as your buyer agent, this is the commitment I make to you. My goal is to get you from the starting line to crossing the threshold of your new home with little to no hassle. And the good news, my services are almost always paid by the seller at the close of the sale. Woohoo! The first step in hiring your agent is to agree on a commitment or loyalty agreement between the two of us that's called a buyer's representation agreement. There is no cost to you for this agreement. This agreement outlines the terms of the relationship, including respective duties to each other, length of time and purpose of the relationship, and compensation, which again is almost always paid for by the seller. So when do you hire your agent? That is a great question. So let's walk through the timeline with this great little video we have.
When should you hire your agent? Say your lease is up in April. You would need to move out by April 30th, making your last lease payment on April 1st. This means you'll want to move into your new home no later than the end of April. To make this happen, you'll need to close or take ownership of your new home sometime in April, assuming a 45-day close, be under contract to purchase in late February or early March, begin looking at houses in January, get pre-approved for your mortgage with a lender so you know how much you can afford in December, prepare your finances in November, and begin working with me within that same month. From hiring me as your agent to getting the keys to your new home can take 5 to 6 months. So who's ready to get started today?
So there you have it. 3 to 6 months in advance is really the timeline you need to be aware of and understand. And if you have an idea of the date when you'd like to move into a new house, then you have to work backwards and make sure that you are working with an agent in enough time to make that dream or ideal become a reality. Okay, on to step 2, selecting a lender and getting pre-approved. There are important differences between pre-approval and pre-qualification. A pre-approval requires a formal application with a lender. You receive a formal commitment from a lender. It states how much you can borrow and how much that borrowing is going to cost you, and it makes you a stronger buyer in multiple offer situations. Pre-qualification is pretty simple. It's not a formal or lengthy process. It's not a commitment from a lender. It's merely a rough estimate of how much you can borrow. If you've ever played around with one of those how much can I borrow calculators on a lender's website, I have one on mine as well, that's pre-qualification. Really good tool, really useful, helps you narrow down and get a good idea of your budget, but it's not a pre-approval. There are several lenders I recommend, and if you're in the market for one, I always recommend working with my mortgage brokers who will work on your behalf in finding the best lender and deal for your circumstances. They specialize in first-time home buyers and will work with you confidentially to review your income, debt, and credit and help you determine how much you can afford. They will also educate you on different options for loans, interest rates, and down payment amounts, and ultimately help put you in the best financial position possible to purchase your first home. If you're serious about buying your first home, you have to create a budget for yourself and follow it. To get started, there are many simple budget worksheets online, so find one that works for you. Practicalmoneyskills.ca has one I recommend. Ask for your credit report from your lender if you don't already have one, or go to creditkarma.ca for a free report. Begin paying down your debt if you have any, and if need be, make simple changes to your lifestyle. For example, cut down on eating out, or going to movies as often, or purchasing expensive coffee drinks every day. It's amazing how these little budget cuts can add up and get you closer and closer to owning your first home. There are 3 basic elements that make up your decision in choosing a mortgage. First is down payment, the first payment that you make. This can vary between 5% and 100% if you have lots of money of the price of the home, but for first-time home buyers is often between 5 and 20% or 5 and 30%. Second is interest rate, and that's the amount you pay to have a loan. Interest rates are running at about 3 to 3.5%, which is really low historically, and it could be higher than that depending on your credit worthiness and risk level. And the third is term, so the length of time to pay off the mortgage. The time frame you choose affects both the interest rate at which you build equity in your home and your payment amounts. So a long term, 30 years, your payments would be lower, but your debt pay down is slower. Or a short term, like 15 years, your payments are going to be a lot higher, but your debt pay down is faster, so your equity is building at a quicker rate. In relation to a mortgage, PITI is an acronym for a mortgage payment that is the sum of monthly principal, interest, property taxes, and home insurance. These are the payments that you will have to make every month, and lenders will compare this amount with your overall financial condition to determine how much they will be willing to lend you. Your lender will provide you with your pre-approval amount based on your income, expenses, and debt. Based on your loan options, you choose your down payment. If you choose to put less than 20% down, you will be required to pay additional mortgage insurance through CMHC, the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, which currently ranges between 2.8 and 4% of the price of your home. Paying at 20% or more down, you avoid these fees. Now comes the fun part, step 3, looking for your first home. When we visit each other, you'll complete my questionnaire so that I completely understand your needs and wants, and then choose the right houses for you to look at. After all, you don't want to fall in love with a house that you can't afford or doesn't meet your needs. I've found that the first few houses that you're going to look at will be an education about the market. When we look at houses together, we'll each be looking at different things. You'll be interested in the layout of the house, the backyard, or the master bathroom amenities. As your agent, I'll be looking at how the house compares to others in the area and any big ticket items that need repair. Other things you'll want to watch for when you're looking at houses: the neighbors. Are kids playing out front? Are the yards maintained? Are the streets lined with cars? Do you feel safe? Are there nearby amenities? And anything else that you value in a neighborhood and a community. Step 4, you've found your home and you're ready to make an offer and negotiate to a successful close. Number 1, price. To help you determine a fair price to offer on the home, your realtor should provide a comparative market analysis, or CMA, of other properties that have recently sold near the home you're making an offer on. 2, terms. There's much more to an offer than price. Some additional details that a realtor will help you navigate are deposit. How large of a deposit will you provide? Irrevocability. How long will the offer be good for? Timing of closing. When will the deal close? Conveyances. What appliances and decor items will remain or go? Repairs. Will you ask the seller to repair any deficiencies before closing? Warranties. Do you want to ask the seller to warrant the working order of certain items like a pool, appliances, or HVAC system? Number 3, contingencies or conditions. These are conditions that allow you to opt out, for example, after receiving the home inspection report and discovering foundation issues, for example. It's important to be aware that everything is negotiable. This is where the experience and knowledge of a good realtor will be a big help to you. Step 5, there's no such thing as a perfect home. There will be some repairs needed, from a leaky faucet to more costly issues. You'll find all of this out with a proper home inspection, and we'll negotiate the repairs that are needed. And I also recommend home inspectors for you to hire for this. We then enter the conditional period, where I help you through the inspection process and consult with you to determine the negotiation strategy we'll use if one is required. You want to know what you're getting into and make a decision whether to move forward on buying this home or not. You don't want to buy somebody else's problems, but you also have to be reasonable when buying a resale home and understand that nothing is new anymore. So what exactly are you prepared to live with in order to call this place home? Step 6, you're getting closer. There are just a few steps to round out the deal. Here are some additional costs to budget for. There's going to be, provincial tax on your mortgage insurance, land transfer tax, legal fees, or you may need an appraisal, all sorts of things that you need to be aware of. And you're also going to want, maybe, but most likely, some money to make improvements when you move into the home. In the final few days, you'll be in contact with your lawyer's office and will be provided with a statement of adjustments that will inform you of what money you need to provide your lawyer with for closing. That, along with the mortgage money and closing documentation, will be couriered to the seller's lawyer, and when they confirm receipt, they'll send the keys to your lawyer. Then once your lawyer confirms that you're confirmed as the new owners of the property in the land registry office, ta-da! You're now a homeowner and it's time to celebrate. This is a major accomplishment, and now you get to feel the pride of home ownership. Keep in mind that I continue to be your resource even after the deal closes. I have recommendations for every kind of service person you might need over the years to keep your home in tip-top shape and to make any desired home improvements with confidence. Now is a great time to buy your first home, so are you ready to get started? Now remember my commitment to you. When you're ready to get started on this journey, I'll be honored to accompany you. I commit to educating you about the market, analyzing your wants and needs, steering you to homes that fit your criteria, coordinating the work of other professionals, negotiating on your behalf, and solving any problems that may arise. On my website, you'll find some great resources at mikemccarthyrealty.com. Under the Buyers tab, you'll find information on first-time homebuyers credit, RRSP homebuyers plan, land transfer tax rebate, and new housing HST rebate. And under the Mortgages tab, you'll find calculators that are really helpful for mortgages, land transfer tax, CMHC insurance, and mortgage affordability. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to contact me via phone, text, or email. You can also click on the Contact tab or link on any page of my website. If you'd like me to set you up to receive listing alerts for homes on the market, please go to the Buyers tab on my website. Click on Find Your Dream Home. Fill out the short form and hit the register button, and we'll have you set up in no time. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you found this to be helpful and informative. I want to wish you the very best of luck becoming a first-time home buyer, and I hope we can connect again real soon. Bye-bye.